Straight ahead on 12 News, an early morning disturbance in a Robbinsdale neighborhood forcing several residents to evacuate their homes. Plus, the changing rules of recycling. Well, you may have to begin paying to get rid of certain items. But first, after a relatively snow-free winter in the northwest suburbs comes the biggest snowfall of the season. 12 News starts right now. And hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. For days, forecasters have warned us about an impending snowstorm, and it's finally here.
And reporter Sonia Goins is live in Brooklyn Park with more on what's expected to be a significant snowfall. Hi, Sonia.
Mike and Alex, I got the short stick of the day. I mean, this is the first major snowstorm of the season. And as you can tell, it's really coming down. The snow is blowing, and it's also slowing traffic on 94 here. Meanwhile, Hennepin County crews are gearing up to keep the roads clear. Now, this is the main snowplow facility for Hennepin County. There are a total of 5. The trucks loaded up on road salt before taking on the snow and ice. Crews will have their work cut out for them. They have the daunting task of trying to keep 66 routes clear. With the blowing snow, it won't be easy.
A storm like this, all we can do is keep the main road open and continue till it stops, and then they go to work and push it out the rest of the way.
Now, the snow-packed roads are also causing problems for motorists. A number of accidents are already being reported in the metro. Crystal police say they've already responded to a few crashes. They warn motorists to slow down.
Well, in weather like these blizzard-like conditions we have, absolutely you want to slow down. It's not worth your time to try and speed on these roads the way they are. They're just too slick and too dangerous.
Now, whether you have a 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, it's a pretty good idea to slow down. The faster you go, the longer it will take you to come to a stop. Now, officials also want us to warn motorists to keep a safe distance behind snowplow drivers. Give them enough room so they can do their jobs. Now, the snow is supposed to come down for quite a while. It's probably a good idea, if you don't have to be out here, to stay off the roads. Live in Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
All right, some great reminders there, Sonia. Thanks a lot. And up to this point, however, it has been a pretty dry winter.
Yeah, before today, the biggest snowfall we've had in the Northwest Metro was just 3.2 inches back in December. And through February 1st in the Northwest Metro, only 16 inches of snow had fallen. That's 17 inches short of the normal for this time, which is 33 inches. And New Hope weather watcher Steve Reckers has kept weather records for the National Weather Service for more than 45 years. And even with today's snowstorm, Reckers says our snowfall totals so far are more in line with the winter of 2012 when we had a total of 21 inches of snow.
It is an El Nino year, which typically we get less snow than we would get normally, and they're typically warmer than normal, which this winter has had both.
And to this point, we've only had 9 days that fell below zero. And as far as snowfall, though, Reckers says historically, March can still be a very snowy month, and it's not unusual to get April snow as well. And one more weather-related note, Tuesday evening's Crystal City Council meeting has been postponed. The city was supposed to hold a public hearing on light rail, and that will now take place on Tuesday, February 16th.
A 28-year-old man is in custody after barricading himself in a Robbinsdale garage with what police believed was a gun and an explosive device. Police answered a call for an out-of-control person just before 5 o'clock this morning in the 3400 block of Halifax in Robbinsdale. A SWAT team was called in and several homes were evacuated before a crisis negotiator helped convince the man to surrender peacefully. Streets in the neighborhood were closed just in case.
We had reason to believe he had a weapon, and the party was saying he also had explosives that he was willing to set off in the garage. So at that point, the SWAT team, Northwest Metro SWAT team, was called out. We also got assistance from a lot of our surrounding agencies shutting down the neighborhood.
Robbinsdale Police Chief Jim Franson says the gun turned out to be a replica firearm, but a homemade chemical explosive device was found. The device was safely detonated at the scene. Charges are pending.
We're about a month away from the start of the legislative session, expected to be one of the shortest sessions in state history. Local lawmakers say they plan to focus on transportation.
Since we have a surplus, we believe this is the time to actually have dedicated funding so that we have a long-term solution for the transportation problems our state faces.
Representative Joyce Pepin and her Republican caucus plan to push for a $7 billion 10-year transportation plan. It would dedicate existing tax funds from auto parts sales and vehicle registration to roads. Those funds currently go into the general fund. Local lawmakers also hope to secure funding to finish the final section of Highway 610 in Maple Grove. The session starts on March 8th and will be shorter than usual due to construction at the state capitol. Well, for years, residents in the Northwest Metro have been able to recycle certain things for free.
But those days are going away. As Eric Nelson found out, there is now a need to charge residents for getting rid of some items.
Take the R out of free and you get fee.
It's very much across the board.
Which is now the norm when it comes to recycling your old computer, TV, and other electronics.
They really do need to be recycled.
From retailers like Best Buy to nonprofits like Tech Dump, folks have to pony up some cash to get rid of things they no longer use.
What we're seeing is the impact of truly just supply and demand. There are far fewer places that can responsibly recycle these than ever before, and so we're starting to see those prices really go up.
The rules of recycling are changing at warp speed.
Yes, it's confusing.
And it pays to be informed, because dumping an old TV or computer is taboo.
There's still the state ban. You still cannot put TVs and computers in the trash. So that's not an option.
Bottom line is, these items are toxic and not good for the planet.
They do contain a high content of lead and mercury and other contents.
Paper shredding is another recycling issue, and some folks are puzzled about the do's and don'ts. It's okay to shred at home if you want. The key is, after you get the shredded paper, bring it to a public facility so they can recycle it.
Please use like a public option. So like a shredding event or cleanup event in the spring where we have a shredding truck on site. Perfect opportunity.
Getting the paper into a truck means it will not be mixed with glass or plastic.
It's going to be good paper. It's going to be clean paper.
I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
For shredded paper, you can also put it in a paper bag, staple it shut, and label it shredded paper for your recycler. As for getting rid of old computers or TVs, the charge can range from $5 to $50. A new report by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency shows recycling created more than 60,000 jobs in the state. It's an increase of 1,700 jobs from 2011. The economic impact of all those jobs equals $3.4 billion in wages. Coming up, sorting through different guidelines for breast cancer screening. That's next in Health Check.
And then later in sports, see where local girls hockey teams will line up as the second playoffs get underway.
But first, travel slowly improves on Wednesday, but wind chills will be in the single digits. We'll be right back.
Given all the snow, it may seem a little bit early to be thinking about prom season, but now is the time to search your closet and help some girls get ready for prom this spring.
If you have a gently used or a new prom dress or bridesmaid dress, Project Prom wants you to consider donating it. Last year, 100 girls representing over 30 area high schools got free prom dresses through the effort.
I mean, the community has wrapped their arms around this project. They love the idea of recycling these dresses, getting them to some girls that can't afford them, some girls that just say, I'm not going to spend $500, that's ridiculous.
Dress drop-off locations include Salon Halo in Robbinsdale or Unity Hospital in Fridley. For more information, you can visit projectprom.us.
It's widely known that a mammogram can save a woman's life by screening for breast cancer, but there are different guidelines as to when women should start screening. Some experts say age 50. The American Cancer Society suggests age 45, and other prominent groups suggest age 40. Blaine Cleveland tries to address those inconsistencies in today's Health Check.
The Plymouth Creek Center is known as a gathering place for exercise.
We walk here just about every day.
But once a month,
Thank you all for coming.
doctors from Allina Health drop by to share information about important medical issues.
Breast cancer is the #2 killer of women in the United States.
Today's topic is on breast cancer.
Well, I'm concerned about it. I don't know if it's hereditary or if other things cause it, but it would be good to have that information. Most of the time, when we do call women back, it's answered with a couple extra pictures or maybe an ultrasound.
Providing the group with that information is Dr. Lisa Schneider of the Piper Breast Center at West Health.
It's immensely important. It's huge.
She met with us before her presentation.
In 2015, roughly 230,000 women were diagnosed with breast cancer, and about 40,000 died of breast cancer.
However, she says the mortality rate would be higher if not for screening mammography.
It can detect cancers before a woman can feel them, before it has had a chance to spread.
Early detection can lead to an early cure. And at West Health in Plymouth,
This is the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technology.
patients have the option of getting a 3D mammography where they get a more detailed examination.
There's a 40% increase in the cancer detection rate with this method versus the other method. And that's a significant number in a large population.
Yet the question is, at what age do women start screening?
Generally, it is agreed upon that the most lives are saved when we start screening mammography at the age of 40.
She says women should arm themselves with information and decide for themselves.
The science and the literature will tell you that the harms are largely overblown and the radiation risk is largely overblown.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Doctors urge every woman to talk to their health care provider about when to get a mammogram and how often. For more information, you can go to the website endtheconfusion.org. Coming up, an opportunity for Brooklyn Park youth to show off their creative side.
But first in sports, a close battle between some of the state's top teams at the Section 6 Nordic Ski Championships. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
We start with cross-country skiing and a very competitive meet.
A lot of great skiers and a lot from the area that'll be heading on to state next week. A change in sections this season meant that the teams that finished first and second in the state girls Nordic ski meet last season, Wayzata and Armstrong, would compete for the Section 6 title. Add in 7th-ranked Hopkins and it promised to be a great battle for the 2 spots in the state meet. The boys up first, and Wayzata sophomore Anders Sonneson starts first in the pursuit format. And at the finish, Sonneson easily takes the title, winning by just over a minute in a combined time of 28 minutes, 10.9 seconds on a good day for the Trojans. Second place goes to Sonneson's teammate, Luke Golan, another sophomore, followed by Conrad Phelan of St. Louis Park. Wayzata takes 4 of the top 6 places in the boys' meet to take the title. The girls' team battle figures to be a close one. Hannah Rudd of Armstrong starting first. And Rudd holds her lead to ski to the section championship in a combined time of 31 minutes, 27 seconds. Michaela Keller-Miller of Wayzata is second, just under a minute later, with Claire Benton of Hopkins third. Here's what the 2 champions said after their races.
This race last year, I think I went into state just a little bit too tired, and this year I'm feeling a lot better, in a lot better shape, and so I'm excited for state.
It feels good. I mean, we had a lot of crazy hard competition, even harder than state, I feel like, so it's a good day.
Armstrong edges Wayzata by 4 points for the girls' title. Both teams advanced to state, while third place Hopkins misses out. Breck is fourth, followed by Orono, Benilde, and St. Louis Park. Cooper is eighth, and Heritage Providence 10th. The Wayzata boys take the section title, 42 points ahead of runner-up St. Louis Park. The Orioles edged third place Armstrong by 2 points to claim the second state berth. Benilde is 5th, Breck 8th, Heritage Providence 11th, and Cooper 12th. In this first week of February, section play gets started this week in girls hockey. Maple Grove is now in Section 5AA, and they earn the top seed ahead of Centennial and Blaine. Rogers is 6th, and Champlain Park seeded 7th. In the quarterfinals Saturday, Champlain Park meets Centennial at 2:30 and Rogers plays Blaine at 5 o'clock. Maple Grove has a bye to next Tuesday's semifinals. All of that tournament is at Roseville Ice Arena. In Section 6AA, Edina is the top seed with Creighton-Durham Hall second. Wayzata is third, followed by Hopkins Park, Benilde St. Margaret's, North Metro, and Armstrong Cooper. Benilde and Hopkins Park open the tournament at noon Saturday, followed by North Metro Wayzata and Armstrong Cooper versus Cretin-Derham Hall, and that tournament at Parade Ice Garden in Minneapolis. As you saw a moment ago, Maple Grove is the top seed for Section 5AA. Here's what their head coach had to say about the section.
It's going to be tough. I've told the girls from the start, this Northwest Suburban Conference is tough. They play a different style of hockey, a physical style of hockey, and there's teams that can win on any given day. There's talent on each and every team, so it'll be tough. It'll be tough to beat Blaine twice in a year and Centennial, and you know, we tied Anoka, and Spring Lake Park has been coming on strong, so there's teams that can win 1 to 7 in that section.
Yeah, well, the story on the North Metro Stars later this week here on 12 News. Though they've had a tougher road this season, the Wayzata gymnastics team is hoping to reach the state meet. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jason Melillo profiles Trojan senior Andi Puls. Here's a clip from that story.
Puls' perseverance has paid off. On the Wayzata varsity since her freshman year, the senior is aiming to make the state meet for a 4th time this winter. The road back to the state meet won't be easy for Puls or the Wayzata team. The Trojans are in a new section this season where they'll face tougher competition.
It's kind of hard because with our previous section, we kind of, going to state 3 times in a row, it's kind of like you expect to go to state again, but now we have a new section, so it's kind of, we don't know what to expect, and I don't know what to expect. So it's really going to be a surprise, but I'm glad to have the experience and like know what the pressure's like to help my team.
Puls and her teammates are starting to put it all together at the right time though, scoring season highs in their last 2 meets.
At the Hopkins meet, we really just kind of put our all out there and had a really great meet and had an all-time score, and that was on Thursday, and then this past Saturday we beat that score by 2 points. So really we've been improving, and it's just exciting.
You can watch the rest of the Andi Puls story and more on Sports Jam. It runs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12. All games Tuesday night canceled because of the snow, including Maple Grove at Champlin Park. That was their scheduled TV game. Instead, we'll do that one Friday night, live at 7 from Champlin Park High School.
All right, coming up Friday. Thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, Brooklyn Park reaches out to budding graphic arts designers.
We'll be right back. Finally, creatively capturing the culture and spirit of Brooklyn Park.
The city is accepting entries for its annual Tater Daze button design contest. This is last year's winner, Caitlin Qualley. The contest is open to students ages 6 to 18 who live or go to school in Brooklyn Park, and the winning design will be used for the 2016 Tater Daze button. Entries are due by the end of the month. And that does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
See you back here again tomorrow.